This is the Ashoka Pillar at Vaishali. Across the country on March 26, 2026, political parties are gathering at sites like this to celebrate Ashoka Ashtami. It is a day dedicated to the birth of Emperor Ashoka, a ruler who spent his reign attempting to unify a massive, diverse population under a single ethical code. But there is a contradiction in how his name is used today. Many of the factions invoking Ashoka's legacy are built on narrow ideologies. In practice, these organizations often restrict leadership roles and equal opportunities to specific circles, excluding citizens based on their caste or religious identity. To maintain their influence, these leaders frequently focus on the differences between communities. By highlighting religious or caste-based friction, they ensure that public attention remains fixed on social grievances rather than on the performance of the government itself. The celebration of historical unity often functions as a distraction. While the public is engaged in these identity-based debates, political actors focus on securing the cream of power, the control over state resources and administrative authority for their own benefit. This friction is amplified by slogans like Batog Toka Toge, divided we fall, or promises of uplifting specific backward classes. This kind of fervor at political rallies is often built on emotional appeals rather than a review of a party's actual governance. When we look at the history of many such parties, a pattern emerges. The focus remains on promoting family members and specific caste interests. The source materials describe a legacy of corruption and draining of public funds, where resources intended for the nation are diverted to maintain political dynasties. The result of this diversion is visible here. While political families amass wealth, roughly 80% of the Indian population is left to struggle for basic necessities. These families live in crowded neighborhoods, navigating a daily battle for survival. This creates a cycle. When resources are scarce and the 80% are struggling, they become more susceptible to the emotional manipulation and slogans used by the same dynasties that benefit from the status quo. The division serves as the primary mechanism to keep this system running. This raises a question for the future of Indian democracy. Can the welfare of all citizens actually be achieved under a system driven by family interests, casteism, and religious friction? The answer is found in the established legal framework of the nation. The Indian Constitution, represented here by this statue in Mumbai, provides the objective set of rules designed to prevent the very abuses we see in modern politics. The first pillar is fundamental rights, acting as a shield against discrimination. The second pillar, directive principles, instructs the state to improve conditions for the general population. The third pillar enforces fundamental duties, requiring responsible action from all, completing a balanced system of governance. This three-part framework, rights, principles, and duties, is the constitutional formula for national progress. It shows that current divisive politics aren't just a social problem, they are a direct contradiction of the nation's founding legal logic. The consequences of choosing religious supremacy over constitutional law are visible across the globe. When a legal framework fails to protect all citizens equally, the result is the kind of persistent conflict and destruction shown in this war-torn landscape. India's path is different. By strictly following the core spirit of its constitution, the nation can provide a model for how a vast, multi-faith population can coexist in peace and build a shared future. This is the political thesis of thinker Jawaharlal. It forms the basis for the Samyak Party, which is structured to operate above the traditional divisions of caste, religion, and family-led politics. The circular architecture of the Indian Parliament represents the supreme constitutional institution. Adhering to the principles within this building is a practical requirement for any republic wishing to avoid the cycle of division and violence seen elsewhere. The Samyak Party model is based on the idea that political advancement comes through following constitutional policy rather than emotional manipulation. It proposes a system where the law is the highest authority, not the interests of a dynasty. Ultimately, the responsibility to move toward a clean, constitutional political system rests with the voters. It requires citizens to look past narrow ideologies and hold their leaders to the standards established in the nation's founding documents. The future of the country lies in returning to the ideals represented by this lion capital of Ashoka. By taking those ancient concepts of unity and enforcing them through the modern constitution, the nation can finally address the roots of its division.